All right, guys, we're going to wrap up the Q&A over here. We're about 40 minutes in, and spend a little bit of time talking about the overnight session and what we can expect going forward. So, like I said, today we did start to see some early signs of a certain level of stability coming into the market. Now, it doesn't mean that, we instantly flip and go full on bullish just yet, but just starting to see some very early signs of a certain level of stability. And, right now, like in the overnight session, the market has opened and it's, trading or trying to trade a little bit higher. We haven't seen any significant breakout just yet. I think on the upside, if we can put in a breakout above the 2290 to roughly 2300, 2305, if we can do that, then that would be a confirmation on the smaller time frame that okay, maybe those signs of stability have some merit. So for now, the short-term bias is going to be neutral. The bigger picture is unaffected. It's still bearish. And, the intermediate is kind of a bit in flux here too, because if we do start putting in breakouts to the upside, and again, the first sign of that would be if we can break back above today's high and back above 2300. So if we can manage to do that, then that would mark a break above the day session range, which could look something like this. And you can see that it has potential then to push the market back up towards the 2346 to like 54, 55 area, this little swing high, and back up into the 2385 to 2401. 2402 marks the 100% range extension. So right now we're going to watch how this intraday balance resolves. So on the upside, the 2287 to 2300 can be considered short-term resistance, and on the downside, the 2174 to roughly 2184 can be used as short-term support. In between, the market's kind of just range bound, but the fact that we did not sell off below 2174 is again at least possibly an early sign of the market kind of potentially entering a more of a balancing stability phase. And because all of this is happening near some larger time frame support, and just given how overextended the market is, if we do start to turn back around and start putting in successful breakouts, then the buying could actually push the market a bit higher than maybe some traders are expecting. The larger time frame resistance areas are much higher than where the market is right now, right? So you can see that if we do start breaking out, which again, I'm not predicting that we are, how ES behaves at 2290 to 2300 is going to help answer that question. But in the event that we do, you can see that there's some significant upside potential, because then ES can test the 2385 to 2401 again. If you break out above here, it strengthens the bull case, can lead to 39 to 43, 51 to 61. All of these zones can then start to come into play. It can develop into a situation where buying kind of attracts more buying, and it provides motivation for anyone who's holding short to cover their position, which adds fuel to the upside move. And we can also see that the first larger time frame area of resistance, on the upside beyond initial resistance, is all the way up at 25.36.5 to 48.5. And then, the one above that is all the way up at 26.90.5, right? So in the event that we do start turning around and, this starts to turn into that bigger false breakdown pattern, then, there could be some better upside potential as well. But, that is going to depend on whether, buyers can actually push it back above the 2290 to 2300. If that starts to happen, then we're back within the recent range, and that bigger pattern of false breakdown could still come into play. So something to be on the lookout for. Again, it's not about prediction, it's about preparation and kind of knowing when to adjust your bias. Now on the downside, if we break below 2174 to 84, essentially below today's lows, then this immediate zone can quite easily get tested at 55 to 65. Buyers may step in there. That's still a area of support that hasn't been tested. Buyers may be active, but it's not a automatic trade or anything, but it is a valid area of support until broken. And you can see that on the downside, especially if we kind of take the overnight low into account as well, then there's some decent downside potential as well. And then if you do put in a breakdown below today's lows, then the sellers are still in control. Then the bear case is still active, and we can expand the range to the downside. So right now we're going to see how this intraday range resolves, and because of where this intraday range is within the bigger pattern, it's important. So not every single day's intraday range matters. Today's does, I think, just because of where it's situated in the larger pattern, or on the larger time frame. So that's how I see things shaping up right now. Bias neutral until we get a breakout or breakdown. But if we get a breakout, then that's a signal of strength and short-term bullishness. And if we get a breakdown, that's a signal of weakness and short-term bearishness. On the downside, it would be in alignment with the bigger picture. So, it could kind of expand a little more easily. And then the support areas below are still going to be valid and in play. And there's still going to be spots where buyers can step in on first test. All right, guys, that is a wrap on today. Thank you for attending. I hope you guys are all trading well, staying indoors, staying healthy, and we'll catch up same time tomorrow morning in the trade plan video. Take care and good night.